Hello, my name is Chad Hogue. I'm an assistant professor of computer science at Millersville University in Pennsylvania. Recently, I was asked by a local organization to make an hour-long presentation for their members about artificial intelligence and what they should know about it. I intended to record that presentation, but that didn't go so well, so I'm doing another one now. We'll actually do this in 5 parts, a brief introduction here. Then we'll talk about symbolic artificial intelligence, machine learning, generative artificial intelligence, and then wrap up with how's this all changing the world. So what is artificial intelligence? Seems like something that would have a straightforward definition, but it really doesn't. My favorite definition is this one. It's simply whatever problems seem like they would be impossible without thinking or intelligence. If I describe some problem that I would like a computer programmer to solve, and you say, yeah, of course computers can do that, then that's not artificial intelligence. If I describe a different scenario to you and you say, I don't think computers could do that, that really requires you to think. That requires human ingenuity. Then that is artificial intelligence. Of course, what we're able to do with computers and what we think computers can do changes over time. And so Tesla says AI is just whatever hasn't been done yet. That thing that you're currently thinking a computer couldn't possibly do, once I write a computer program that does it, you'll say, oh yeah, of course a computer can do that. That's not AI. And thus the bounds of what is AI just keeps getting pushed further and further out. Some big picture thoughts for this talk. AI is very popular in the news right now, but it's much older than you think. The term started being used from a workshop at Dartmouth University in 1956. You should also know that technology based on AI, or that was at least at some point perceived as AI, is not some foreign thing that is used by fancy, complicated people. It's part of your life every day and has been for a long time. Also, we're going to see that the artificial intelligence that we describe is often not really that seemingly intelligent once you understand how it works. And we're going to come back over and over again to the question, what does it really mean to think? What does it really mean to have intelligence? We're going to start by thinking about a thought experiment that John Searle, a philosopher, came up with quite a few years ago. He said, imagine that you've got an enormous room. You don't have any idea what's in the room, but you know you can write messages in Chinese on a piece of paper, slide it into the room, and a message written in Chinese will come out of the room back to you. And that message always makes perfect sense as a response to whatever you sent in. So if you ask a question, it'll give you an answer that is a correct answer for that question. If you greet it, it will greet you back, etc. Would you say that this room understands Chinese? It seems fully capable of taking in the input that you're providing, coming up with a reasonable response, providing it to you. How could we really measure understanding of Chinese in any way other than that? So some people would argue, yes, this room does understand Chinese. Other people would say, of course, that's ridiculous. A room can't understand Chinese. So let's open up the box of the room and imagine what might be going on inside. We see in this picture, there's a person in our room. That person has a book, a gigantic book. And that book is full of pages and pages and pages that say, if you get this message, write this message. The person looking at the book doesn't have to have any understanding of the symbols in the way we would normally think about it. It simply says, if these are the symbols on the input paper, write these symbols on the output paper. And obviously, it's a very big book because there's effectively an infinite number of possible combinations of input symbols that could come in. Would you say that this person understands Chinese? They're the ones actually doing the answering, but they don't know anything about what the symbols mean. Would you say that the book understands Chinese? After all, the book is what contains these rules saying if we see this input, do that output. But it's awfully strange to think of a book as understanding something or thinking or having intelligence. Maybe it's the person who wrote the book that has the intelligence after all. There is no necessary answer to this problem. Searle himself didn't have a specific answer, and there's no answer that people have agreed upon. But it's something we should think about whenever we're designing a system that can do something like taking in some input and producing reasonable output. Does that mean that it has an understanding of the process, that there's any thinking going on? We'll see as we go through this. So, in our next video, we're going to talk about the original topic that people in AI were interested in, symbolic artificial intelligence. Talk to you then.